Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome live here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network here on YouTube.com. Again, as always, I'm play-by-play broadcaster Brandon Morvillius. Alongside here with me is cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. Back here with our 2025 IHSAA Class 2A Sectional 40 Boys Basketball Tournament Preview Show here tonight. Again, just kind of the same deal as usual. Just going to be breaking down the bracket, team stats, other information, to go along with that, and also where you can find our broadcast coming up tomorrow night there from Blackford High School. So a lot in store for all of you fine folks out there in Raider Country. Before we get into everything, again, we want to extend our thanks and appreciation to all of you for tuning in all season long throughout the regular season play for both boys and girls basketball. Great showing by everybody. I think that the boys and girls had very good regular seasons. Unfortunately, the ladies lost in the sectional championship, but they still had an outstanding year. And so now the boys, they're in position now. They're poised to go out there and make another run at this thing. They got a taste of what things was like last year, getting to the state championship game. That obviously is the ultimate goal here, but it's a one step at a time process. But like I said, we just want to thank everyone for always being supportive of us and being supportive of our student athletes. Big thanks to the Wapahani Boys Basketball Program for allowing us to broadcast their games here in the regular season, and now starting up here with postseason play starting up there tomorrow night. So we will go ahead and take a look here at this state tournament bracket. Again, as you see there on your screen, it will be played at Blackford High School. So that is just on the outskirts here of Hartford City. Roughly about a 35-minute drive or so, I guess, depending upon where you're driving from. But nonetheless, a little bit of a drive to get there, but that will be at Blackford High School starting tomorrow night. As your Wapahani Raiders will be the visiting team tomorrow evening as they take on the home team, the Eastbrook Panthers. That will be a 6 p.m. start time there for that one. The second first-round matchup will then be between the Madison Grant Argyles as they take on the Muncie Burris Owls at 7:30 p.m. The winner of Wapahani and Eastbrook will then play Blackford on Friday night, March the 7th. A 6 p.m. start time there for that. Again, the winner of Wapahani and Eastbrook will be the home team there in that one. And then the winner of Madison Grant and Muncie Burris will take on Alexandria. That will be at 7:30 p.m. on Friday night. Then with a Sectional 40 championship game being played on this coming Saturday, March the 8th at 7:30 p.m. Again, all Sectional 40 boys basketball tournament action held at Blackford High School. So, Wapahani, as far as, because I know when the pairings first came out, a lot of people was like, hey, what do you think about the draw there for Wapahani, and what are their chances and everything else? They have just as good of a chance as anybody else does. Now on paper, sure, yes, we should win. 22-1 on the season. We've played very, very good throughout the course of the year. Sure, everybody has some games where they might play a little bit better than other games, but at the end of the day, I think this is a very consistent team, a very unselfish team that Wapahani continues to put out there on the floor each and every single ball game, each and every single year. That's what head coach Matt Luce and his coaching staff really prides themselves on, and how they play the game together. That family type of atmosphere that this team and all the other teams continue to play with, and I think that's a good bulk of the reason why we continue to see that success here from this Wapahani Raider boys basketball team. So we'll go ahead and get right into breaking these teams down. First and foremost, we're going to start with the top half of the bracket, Wapahani, Eastbrook, and Blackford. So Wapahani, again, stands in at 22-1 on the season, MEC Conference champs, Delaware County champs, but looking for more championships from here on out the rest of the way. And it's going to start off there with Eastbrook. But Wapahani Coming in on offense here, 62.3 points per game on average. They allow 41.3. And then rebounds per game, 23.1. They have 14.9 assists, 6 steals, and then turn it over at a rate of 5.6 times per game. Another very big key that I guarantee you many teams throughout the state of Indiana cannot say that they turn the ball over less than 6 times a game. The great elite teams probably can, but again, that's in the minority right there. So, again, a great bulk of the reason why Wapahani is able to be successful is because they take good care of the basketball and they make good of every opportunity there on the offensive side of the basketball. Again, whether they hit the shot or not, obviously, that's obviously to be seen, but the way that we make sure we take good care of the basketball and at least give ourselves the best chance at hitting a shot, because obviously if you're giving the ball away, well, that kind of speaks for itself. So you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot by giving the ball to the other team. And luckily, we do that at a very alarming rate that not many people can, or not many teams can say that they can achieve. Field goal percentage here, we're at 52%. 522 of 998. From downtown, 272 of 561, good for 48%. And then there from the free throw line, we're 115 of 146, good for 79%. Now, we will take a look here at player stats for other teams. We say this every time. You guys know what this team can do. You know what guys really to look for. Everybody, I don't care what it is. Wapahani, 1 through 7, 8, 9 guys, whatever it takes to get the job done, can contribute. We've seen the other night, Brock Zickgraf. He's not really known to be the leading scorer of this team, but he sure as heck did on Friday night. I think he ended up having 19 points there in the second half, finished up with 23. That led the way. So it doesn't make a difference, and that's really what I really love about this team is that any given night they can go out here and get the job done no matter who's the leading scorer, who's leading the team in steals or rebounds or whatever. Someone takes charge and they find a way to get the job done. And you have multiple guys that have the availability to be able to do that. And again, that's why this team continues to be successful. So really looking forward to tomorrow night and seeing who steps up and really takes control. And not only that, but then who kind of surrounds themselves and really, puts us in a great position to win not only tomorrow night, but Friday night, Saturday night, and the rest of the weekends as your Wapahani Raiders look to create their own March Madness. Now we'll take a look here at the Eastbrook Panthers, 14-8 record here on the season. On offense, they're averaging 48.5 points per game. Defensively, though, very, very solid here at a 41.4 average, which is, again, a tenth of a percentage point from what Wapahani allows defensively. Now, that being said, they definitely don't play a bad schedule. I wouldn't say that they're at a elite schedule when it comes to teams that they play against. But still, 41.4 points is 41.4 points. And so they're getting the job done defensively. They can definitely force some turnovers. They average 6.7 turnovers a game. 6.7 steals per game. But they're very active. They're kind of stalky guys a little bit. And they can be physical. So we're going to be in for a dogfight coming up there tomorrow night there against Eastbrook. Now, some other stats here for the Panthers. They average 22.9 points per game, 11 assists. They turn the ball over at a rate of 12.2 times per game. Field goal percentage at 44%, 384 of 878. From beyond the three-point line, they are 142 of 399, good for 36%. And from the free throw line, they are 156 of 254, good for 61%. Key players really watch for here for Eastbrook. Again, I know head coach Matt Luce talked about this last night at the sectional dinner, in which these two teams have not played each other since 1989. That's been a hot minute. That was even before I was born. I was born in 1991. So that was, 36 years or so ago, 35 years ago. And so it's it's really quite astonishing. It's been that long since these two teams have played each other. But, I think that it'll be nice to play different opponents now. With being in a whole other alignment with the sectional bracket that the state of Indiana or that the IHSAA came out with for the upcoming year, I think that, gives us an opportunity to play different teams that we normally don't play. So Eastbrook's key players to really watch for here, Jaden Younts, averaging 12.3 points per game, 4.2 rebounds, also 3.3 assists. He's 89 of 226, 39% there from the field, 71 of 171, good for 42% from beyond the three-point line, and he shoots 22 of 36, 61% there from the free throw line. Again, that is Jaden Younts here for the Panthers. Next here we have Bodie Howe, 10.9 points per game on offense, 4 rebounds a game. He's 94 of 199, 47% from the field. Not much of a three-point shooter is Howe, 4 of 14, 29% there from beyond the three-point line, and he is 29 of 37, good for 72% there from the free throw line. Next we have Draven Collins, 9 points per game. Really doesn't do much else other than that. Is right around 1 as far as rebounds per game and 1 assist per game. So again, a key stat here is 9 points per game there for Collins. He's 59 of 153, good for 39% from the field, 27 of 89, 30% from behind the three-point line, and he is 44 of 58, 76% from the charity stripe. Next up, we have Reed Apurley. He is at 5.8 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, 57 of 76, good for 75% from the field, and 14 of 29, 48% from the free throw line. So at least statistically, if you're going to foul somebody, that's who you foul. And then lastly here we have Malachi Luthi, 5.3 points per game, 3.3 rebounds, 37 of 82, good for 45% from the field, 12 of 27, 44% from behind the three-point line, and 31 of 47, 66% there from the free throw line. So, again, Eastbrook Panthers, 14-8 on the season. Again, we'll get in here in a little bit as far as sectional opponents, who they've played, who they haven't played, who we've played, and haven't played throughout the course of the regular season, because I think in some ways that does matter, but at the end of the day, tomorrow's a brand new night, brand new game, brand new opportunity for both teams. So I wouldn't put too much stock into previous outcomes and common opponents. Next up here, the Blackford Bruins, 14-9 record here on the regular season. On offense, they average 56.4. They allow 50.7 points per game on defense. Rebounding, 27.8, 12.5 assists, and 8 steals per game, while turning it over at a rate of 13.5 times per game. 454 of 1,004, good for 45% there from the field. From behind the three-point line, they're 139 of 432, good for 32%, and from the charity stripe, again, the Bruins are 184 of 271, good for 68%. Blackford, couple key players here for the Bruins. I'll tell you what, Gage Baker, really, I think, can take over any ball game here for the Bruins. I know I believe that he scored his 1,000th point earlier in the season, but can be a thorn in the side of anybody. As far as defense, offense. I mean, he gets the job done on both sides of the basketball. So Gage Baker here averages 15.6 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, also 2.7 assists and 2 steals per game. He's 132 of 296, good for 45% from the field. He's also 42 of 136, 31% there from beyond the three-point line, which does lead the team in that statistical category. And then lastly here, 37 of 54, good for 69% there from the free throw line. Now, again, Blackford, more of a taller lineup. Baker here, a 6'4" senior guard. So really did want to take a good look at that as far as height difference, physicality, because some of these teams are maybe a little bit more physical than others. Some teams are taller. I wouldn't say that we're exactly tall. We do have a little bit of height, but you look here at the Bruins, they're gonna run 3, 4, 5 guys out here that are 6'3" and taller. So definitely a tall lineup to deal with. Next up here we have Amarian Leggett. He is averaging 14 points per game, 3.9 rebounds, 3.6 assists. He's 46% from the field, 109 of 236, 24 of 74, good for 32% from behind the three-point line, and 67 of 97, 69% there from the free throw line. And get this, he's a 6'4" freshman guard here for the Bruins. And he also wears numbers, well, it's not, I guess, technically a number. It's 0 is Leggett there. So really watch for that young man. He's going to be a nice up-and-comer. Has had a great freshman season so far. Next is Mason Kitterman, averaging 11.5 points a game, 5.2 rebounds. He's 92 of 205, 45% there from the field. 30 of 91, good for 33% from behind the three-point line, and 38 of 46, 83% there from the charity stripe. There's Kitterman. He is also another 6'4" junior forward this time around. So again, 3 guys right there that are 6'4". Our next guy right here, a little bit shorter, but still can get the job done. Jacob Lease, averaging 7.6 points per game, 2.7 rebounds, 2.5 assists. He's 59 of 145, 41% from the field, 30 of 93 from downtown, good for 32%, and 19 of 27, 70% from the free throw line. Again, that is a 5'10" senior guard, Jacob Lease, here for the Blackford Bruins. And then finally here we have Jacob Dillon, 2.7 points per game, 4.4 rebounds per game. He's 23 of 40, good for 58% from the field. Doesn't take any threes, and from the free throw line, he's 13 of 29, good for 45%. Again, that he is a 6'3" junior forward here for the Bruins. So, again, you have 5 or 4 guys right there that are going to be key players and key, faces to really watch for here when we get into Friday night potentially, whether it be us or Eastbrook. You're going to have your hands full. There's no doubt about that there with the Blackford Bruins. So, tall order, very skillful, and definitely can score the basketball. Again, right there at a rate of 56.4 points a game. So that's top half the bracket. Wapahani taking on Eastbrook tomorrow night, Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. start time. The winner of that will play Blackford on Friday night, also at 6 p.m. Now, we're going to switch things on over here to the bearded one, Jordan Redbeard McCoy, as he will break down the bottom half of the bracket. So that's Madison Grant taking on Muncie Burris. The winner of that takes on Alexandria.
Yeah, thanks, Marv. Yeah, we'll start with the Madison Grant Argyles. They come in with a 10-12 record on the season. Team stats, they average 49.3 points per game while giving up 52.3 points per game. Now, unfortunately, there are no stats to report on them. Next, we have the Muncie Burris Owls. They come in with a 2-20 record on the season. They average 39.5 points per game while giving up 67.7 points per game. Now, they do have stats, but they're about a month behind, so we didn't go ahead and do those. Finally, we have the Alexandria Tigers. They come in with a 7-16 record on the year. They score 49.5 points a game while giving up 56 points per game. And again, third time's a charm, no stats again.
All right. Well, that was a job well done, Redbeard. I tell you what, as always, a man of many words. But no, he was right. Yeah, we look for stats. We have a student also helped me out here. That she'll be joining us a little bit tomorrow night there during the broadcast and throughout the state tournament as well. But got these stats. Unfortunately, just like what Redbeard just said, those teams, they don't have any stats online. Muncie Burris, when I looked them up earlier, I mean, literally they were about 5 to 6 games behind. That's a pretty good chunk. I mean, that's, roughly, yeah, I mean, you're looking at nearly 3 about 3 weeks or so, 3 weeks to a month, like I said, of games. So we didn't go ahead and really jot any of those down. Now, again, like I mentioned earlier, we talked about, some common opponents right here. And did some of these teams take on, face off, in the regular season? When you look here at Wapahani, we only played one team that's going to be in the sectionals, and that's Alexandria. And that's that we beat them back on December the 21st at Alexandria, 51-35 there in that one. Eastbrook, they traveled to Alexandria and lost on December the 20th. So the night before, Eastbrook lost 52-49 in overtime. Eastbrook also lost to Madison Grant back on January the 24th at Madison Grant. 46-41 was the final score there in that one. And then also Eastbrook defeated Blackford at home 54-40 back on January the 31st. Blackford with a victory over Alexandria 66-53 there, and that was on December the 13th. They also traveled to Madison Grant on January the 10th and defeated the Argyles 57-43. And then, like I mentioned, they lost there to Eastbrook. That was 54-40 there on January the 31st. Madison Grant defeated Alexandria 70-65 there on February the 14th. Again, Muncie Burris, they defeated them, which that's who their first round opponent's going to be there on Tuesday night. But they just defeated Muncie Burris about it was about a week ago. February the 25th, 63-39 was the final score in that one. And then Alexandria also beat Muncie Burris 61-40 there on February the 11th. So just some common opponents right there. Again, obviously we don't play anybody except for Alexandria. We used to play Muncie Burris. But we haven't played Blackford. Now, here's a stat for you, because Redbeard and I, we was talking about this last week before. Wapahani hasn't played at Blackford in just a little over 10 years. That was our first game of the regular season back in the 2020 or the 2014-2015 basketball season. And Wapahani was victorious in that one. But that was the last time we have actually played at Blackford High School. Now, we've played against Blackford since. We won't get into that. Played them a few years ago in regionals. But really looking forward to this. I think that, like I mentioned earlier, I think that it's nice being able to play other opponents that we normally don't play against, especially in a regular season. And Lord knows, we haven't played these teams in postseason play in quite a while, except for Alexandria and Muncie Burris. But, Madison Grant, Blackford, Eastbrook, we never see them. We never play against them. So that will be kind of nice from that standpoint. But it's going to be a dogfight, especially, starting up tomorrow night. Looking at this Eastbrook team, they're going to go out there and give you your money's worth. Very physical team. Like I said, got some guys that can shoot the basketball. And so Wapahani defensively is going to have to be very active. This is obviously a do-or-die situation. You got to leave it all out there on the court tonight, tomorrow night, whatever night you play. And, we've seen our guys go out there and, play some of the very best teams and have success. You look even back at last year, our back was kind of against the wall on numerous occasions, where nobody gave us a chance regardless of what our record was, and look where we ended up. And so, you look at this year's team, a slightly different team than what we have had the past couple of years, but that's fine. It still resulted in a 22-1 record, which really, in all honesty, probably should have been a 23-0 record, but, we just had a, off night, unfortunately. But, whether it be 22-0, 23-0, it really doesn't make a difference. At the end of the evening here, your main focus is tomorrow night, because anybody can be beaten any given night. It doesn't make a difference if you're 22-1 or 2-20 there with Muncie Burris. It doesn't make a difference. All that matters is what happens on that night, and the Raiders have got to bring it. And I know that they will. Head coach Matt Luce and his coaching staff are going to have these guys ready. That it's their job to go out there and execute game plan and play the game that the way they know how. And a great group of guys all the way down the order. And we're excited. We're excited to get this party started coming up tomorrow night. Again, you can watch that right here. This was a beautiful segue into things. That's the website there on the bottom of your screen that's scrolling across right there. That's where you can find all state tournament action, and the only place that you'll be able to watch the Wapahani Raiders for free coming up tomorrow night. So if you still want to hear me talk and you still want to watch his camera, his camera views going back and forth, broadcasting action and everything, that is the website that you can find us at. So please get on there, watch us. Everything's free. There's no cost. So please don't go to something else and spend money, because that's ridiculous. Yeah. So get on here. That's where you can watch us at. Again, we'll be posting that also on our social media on Facebook and Twitter, X, whatever you want to consider it as. But we'll be having that website on there as well. But again, please share that with everybody that, if you guys can't make it, please make sure to spread the information that is the only site. So you will not find the game on YouTube. It's only on our IHSAA Champions network or IHSAA TV network site. And hopefully it'll be a great night at the office here for Wapahani coming up tomorrow night. So again, we'll see you guys then. Again, Wapahani, Eastbrook, 6 p.m. from Blackford High School. Again, you can catch us right there on the IHSAA Champions Network tomorrow night and all throughout the state tournament. Until next time here, folks, again, this has been our 2025 IHSAA Class 2A Sectional 40 Boys Basketball Tournament Preview Show here this evening. I'm Brandon Morvillius alongside cameraman Jordan Redbeard McCoy. We'll see you all next time right here on your home of the Raiders, the WHS Network.